LK18. Let's figure out what day is last. LK17. LK16. Etc. Let's count it down. Let's use our alphanumeric code to figure this out. Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy, republic, both exposed and approved. Thank you for writing the new MREL, the new safety video. This is Auditorium Station, Auditorium, Auditory Nerve, a Cebus iPhone. The use of my client's medulla, primary motor cortex, my primary visual, my auditory, my primary arcuate fasciculus, my hippocampus, my wernickel, my bracha, my angular gyrus, or any other part of the left or right hemisphere of the brain is in agreement. Discretion of all content obtained will be used for Merriweather businesses and the new All Television Network. Contact us at 594-1443. Two-party consent law. To record each other any confidential communication, including a private conversation, telephone call, without the consent of all parties to the conversation, is in violation of Penal Code 632. Due to time constraints, we're going right to the video. The president is live from the White House. Time constraints. Hello, Barack. It's Pink Shorts. Hello, it's Cacao.
Instead, they saw a solid wall of green.
A solid wall.
Coming right at them. None of them had ever seen fire that intense. Soldiers in the helos were hit and killed.
Hello, would you like a hamburger?
But under withering fire, Chuck landed his chopper.
But under withering fire.
Exposed, so the wounded could get on, and so
Jim and the
holograms back to base.
Jim is truly a
rager. He dropped off more soldiers and supplies.
Jim is my name.
Once more, machine gun bullets and mortar rounds came screaming after them. As he took off the second time, rounds pierced the arm and leg of Chuck's door gunner, Roland Schenck.
He's in shame.
Chuck's Huey was hit.
Thank you for being in shame.
As he flew away. But Chuck had wounded men aboard and decided to take his chances.
Thank you very much.
He landed, found another helicopter, and flew Roland to the field hospital. By now it was near evening. Back in the riverbed, 44 American soldiers were still pinned down. The air was thick with gunpowder.
Hello, this is Geico. Remember to save 16% ammo and cotton insurance.
As the sun started to set, they saw something rise over the horizon.
What did we see?
6 American helicopters.
Lakeview.
As one of them said, as beautiful as could be.
Well, here's the Metro.
For a third time,
22.
Chuck and his unit headed into that hell on earth. Death or injury was all but certain. A fellow
incoming tweet from Fox. Watch Obama. Award Medal of Honor to Colonel Charles Kettleson.
The enemy unloaded everything they had on Chuck as he landed.
Everyone's watching the president now.
Weapons, rocket-propelled grenades.
Sexual
abuse. Ran to the helicopters. When Chuck was told
Section 109A.
Took off. And then mid-air, his radio told him something else.
Mid-air.
Men had not made it aboard.
Please refer to yesterday's intro for the legality of our content here. I'm very excited to do today's show. Savvy from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do. You said it. Audio experience 11 song.
10 minutes, he said they'd be POWs.
I'm a motivational speaker. Richest man in America.
Said,
Universe.
Day,
World. Galaxy. Paint the short way. I said everything you needed. Save me some of that beach cobbler. I'm the highest paid singer in the world.
He broke off from formation, took a steep,
we have other videos that we watch as well, and we love all of them. Tweet us via early or late at FRESH_IV JORDANZ every 20 minutes of the hour. Hashtag your favorite song. Hashtag discover. Remember 311. To speed your screens. Process of the new president. Comedy Central. All liquids us be in lining a 3-ounce size container, no weight in court. Great Plains American United. Thank you for flying. All
Shrapnel
carriers are
tore
us.
through the cockpit and Chuck's chair. And still, those 8 soldiers started to sprint.
Hello,
to the helo,
Barack.
running through the firestorm, chased by bullets.
Am I the airport message?
Chuck's helo, now badly damaged,
Badly
was carrying
damaged.
13 souls and was 600 pounds over limit.
Girls behaving
Felt, he
badly.
said, like flying a 2.5-ton
We would like to
truck.
thank the Smithsonian Channel,
He couldn't hover long
the
enough to take off,
Foxygen Channel,
but
and the Home
cool
Shopping
customer that he
Network,
is. He says he saw his
HSBCN.
shattered windshield and thought, that's pretty good air conditioning.
That's pretty close.
The cabin
HSN
filled
is
with black
close.
smoke as Chuck hopped and skipped the helo
HSN is
across
close
the
to
ground
HSBC.
to pick up enough speed to take off. Like a jackrabbit, he said.
What are the
bouncing across
president's
river.
3 favorite channels?
The instant he got airborne, another mortar
Well,
ripped into the tail. The Huey
Headline
fishtailed
News was one of
violently,
them.
and a soldier was thrown out of the helicopter, hanging
That's it. I don't know
onto
the
a
other one.
skid as Chuck flew them to safety.
What are his favorite channels?
Couldn't make this up. It's like a bad Rambo movie. All right, you're listening to this, you can't believe it. The Army's warrior ethos is based on a simple principle. A soldier never leaves his comrades behind. Chuck Kettles honored that freedom.
Hello, Miss
Not with a single act
Kettleton.
of heroism, but over and over and over. And because of that heroism, 44 American soldiers made it
Well,
out.
today is again the
44.
NHL channels.
We are honored today to be joined by some of them.
We'll be seeing if he
Chuck's door gunner,
inhales
Roland Schenck,
tobacco or
the last soldier Chuck
contraband
rescued that
or
day,
alcohol.
the one who figured he was done for,
I don't think he's gonna do
Dewey
it.
Smith.
Bro, you've got the cable line
A
up.
number of soldiers are Vietnam veterans who fought in that battle.
I don't think so either.
Gentlemen, I would ask you,
Let's
either
give him
stand if you can
$100
or
on the
wave
floor.
so that
See
we
if
can
he
thank
do
you
it.
for your service.
Give him some money. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello.
Now, Chuck's heroism was recognized at the time by the Army's second highest award for gallantry, the
Oh.
Distinguished Service Cross. But Bill
What's his
Villano
favorite
decided
sport?
Chuck deserved an upgrade. Bill's a retired social worker who went to Chuck's house to interview him for a Veterans History project sponsored by the local Rotary
Well, let's
Club.
look at dog collars. Maybe
And
that's the
overheard
clue.
the interview from the other room and reminded Chuck to tell Bill
I
the
can't
story
breathe. My
I just
dog
told
collars
all of you.
on.
So this is something Chuck and I
Pop
have
collars.
in common. We do what our wives tell us to do. Chuck told the story,
Pop collars.
and with his trademark humility, finished it by saying it was a piece of cake. Bill, hearing the story, knew it was something more.
Pop
And he started a
collars.
5-year mission along with Chuck's son Mike, a retired Navy pilot.
Well,
to
we've
award
got
Chuck
Fox
Medal of
and
Honor.
Time Warner Sports.
Bill and Mike are here, as is Congresswoman Debbie
Invisible
Dingell, who, along
fences.
with her legendary
Oh,
husband,
here's
John
Jonathan
Dingell,
Harkness.
went above and beyond to pass a law to make sure that even all these years
We have
later,
Alicia
can still
Rutledge.
fully recognize Chuck Kettle's
Today's show is
heroism.
sponsored by
Today.
PetSmart.
We thank them
Collars,
for their outstanding
harnesses,
efforts.
Jonathan's, and leashes.
And that's one more reason this story is quintessentially American. Looking out for one another. The belief
Our
that nobody
harnesses
should be left behind.
start at $23.99.
This shouldn't just be a creed for our soldiers. It should be a creed for all of us.
Oh, look, they make
This is a country
traffic
that's
dog
never
leashes.
finished in its mission to improve.
Today's show is sponsored by Cone
Do
Traffic Dog Leashes. They're
learn
only
from our history,
$19.99 at
to
PetSmart.
work to form a
Tell them
more
Geico
perfect
sent you. And you'll get a
And at
discount,
time
save
when, let's
10%.
face it, we've had
Tell them Geico
a
sent
couple
you
of tough
here
weeks.
at
For us to
PetSmart.com.
remember the
Jonathan
goodness and
Harkness.
decency of the American people. The way that we can all look out for each other,
Does the president have
Even when
any
times are tough.
response?
even when the odds are against us.
Jonathan Harkness.
What a wonderful inspiration. What a
Lucky
great
man.
gift for us to be able to celebrate
A tie.
something like this. It might take time, but having failed to give our
might take
veterans who
time.
fought in Vietnam
We're M.
the full measure of thanks and respect that they had earned,
M.
we acknowledge
M.
that our
It's time
failure
to
to do so
tie.
was a shame. We resolve
Does the
that
president
it will
have a
never happen again.
response?
It can take time, but old adversaries can find peace. Thanks to the leadership of so many Vietnam vets
A tie.
who had the
Would you have
courage
an
to rebuild
answer for that,
ties, I was
Mr.
able to go to
President?
Vietnam
This is
recently to
Geico.
see a people as enthusiastic
It's the black
about
guy.
America
Collar.
as probably any place in the world. Crowds lining the streets.
Larry.
And we were able to say that
Let's call
on a
Larry.
whole lot of issues, Vietnam and the United States are now partners. Here at
Culinary.
home, it might take time.
Culinary
We have to
arts.
remember everyone on our team, just like Chuck Kettles,
The chef
Sometimes
made
we have to
it.
turn
It's the
around
chef. It's
and back
culinary arts.
and help those who need a lift.
Well, let's get a definition of culinary arts.
Chuck says the most gratifying part of this whole story is that his name, Roland's name, and the name of 42 other Americans he saved are not etched in the solemn granite wall not far from here that memorializes the fallen from the Vietnam War. Instead,
Culinary
Chuck
arts.
Kettles' name forever etched on the walls that communities have built from Southern California to South Carolina in honor of those who have earned.
Today's show is
the medal of honor.
sponsored by Culinary
Chuck
Arts
says all this
Program at
attention is a lot of hubbub,
LATTC.
But I'll survive.
The culinary industry
Chuck,
is one of the
you survived
largest,
much worse
fastest
than
growing
this
industries in the nation.
And on
Forecasts
behalf of the
predict
American people,
an additional
let me say that
1.5
hubbub
million trained culinarians
and
will
roundly
be
deserved.
making
As
food
military
in the
aide
future.
prepares to read the citation, please join me in
Le
saluting
Cordon
this
Bleu.
proud American soldier and veteran who reminds us all of
Who
the
was
true meaning of service.
culinary?
Lieutenant Colonel
It's
Chuck Kettles.
Hillary. Where else would it be? Give her a call. Well, culinary art is related to cooking. Tim Cook of Apple is the art of preparation, cooking, and presentation of food, usually in the form of meals. People working in this field, especially in establishments such as restaurants, are commonly called chefs. Tim Cooks, although at most general, in terms culinary artists and culinarians are also used.
Major Charles S.
Culinarians
Kettles,
are required to have knowledge of food
Major
science,
Charles S. Kettles distinguished
nutrition,
himself by
and
conspicuous
diet,
gallantry
and are
and ingenuity.
responsible for preparing
serving as
meals
flight
that are
commander,
pleasing to the eye
176th
as well as
Aviation
to the
Company,
palate.
Air Mobile Wing,
At the restaurants, their
14th Combat
primary place
Aviation
of
Battalion,
work include
American
delicatessens
Division near
and
Duke
relatively
Road,
large
Republic of Vietnam.
institutions such as hotels
On
and
15 May
hospitals.
1967, Major Kettles, upon learning that an airborne
Culinary.
infantry unit had suffered casualties during an intense firefight with the enemy, immediately volunteered to lead a flight of 6 UH-1 Delta helicopters to carry
Look at
reinforcements to
Nike
the
store
battle force
making t-shirts
and to
up,
evacuate
boy.
wounded personnel.
Pop your
Enemy small
collars.
arms, automatic weapons, and mortar fire raked the landing zone, inflicting heavy damage to the helicopters. However, Major Kettles refused to
Helicopters.
depart until all helicopters
Helicopters.
were loaded to capacity.
Is that
He
a
then returned to
Hillary?
the battlefield with full knowledge of the intense
It is,
enemy fire
Geico.
awaiting his
Oh
arrival
my God.
to bring more reinforcements.
Jesus Christ.
Landing in the midst of enemy mortar and automatic weapons fire that seriously wounded his gunner and severely damaged his aircraft. Upon departing, Major Kettles was advised by another helicopter crew that he had fuel streaming out of his aircraft.
We want to say hello to
Despite the
A
risk posed by the
Network.
leaking fuel, he
Hello.
nursed the damaged aircraft back to base. Later that day, the infantry battalion commander requested immediate emergency
Hello,
extraction
A.
for the remaining 40 troops, including 4 members of Major Kettles' unit who
What
were
could
stranded
A
when the
stand
helicopter
for?
was destroyed by enemy fire. With only
Election.
1 flyable UH-1 helicopter remaining, Major Kettles volunteered to return to the deadly landing zone for a 3rd time.
Thank you,
leading a
TV1.
flight
We
of
love your
6
channel on
evacuation
HD.
helicopters,
Channel
5 of which were
184.
from the 161st Aviation Company. During the extraction, Major Kettles was informed by the last helicopter that all personnel were on board and departed the landing zone accordingly. Army gunships supporting the evacuation also
We want to
departed
thank
the area.
20th Century Fox
Once
1 and
airborne,
20th
Major
Century
Kettles was
Fox
advised
2
that 8 troops
on
had
Time
been
Warner
unable to
Channel
reach the evacuation
201 and
helicopters due
202,
to the intense
CNN
enemy fire.
HD, and
With
Fox
complete
News
disregard for
HD.
zone safety,
Thank
Major
you,
Kettles
1 and
passed the
2.
lead to another helicopter and returned to the landing zone to rescue the remaining troops. Without gunship, artillery, or tactical air support,
Thank
the
you,
enemy
Headline News
concentrated
on Channel
all firepower
204.
of his lone aircraft, which was immediately damaged by a mortar round that shattered both
Pop
front
your
windshields and
collars.
chin bubble,
Pop your
and was
collars,
further
you
raked
don't
by
say.
small arms and machine gun fire. Despite the intense enemy fire, Major
Pop your
Kettles
collars
maintained
up,
control of
fix
the
your
aircraft and
tie.
situation, allowing time for the remaining 8
Culinary
soldiers
arts.
to board the aircraft.
Making food.
In spite of the severe damage to his helicopter,
Spores.
Major Kettles once more skillfully guided his heavily damaged aircraft to safety.
It's raining, it's
Without his
pouring.
courageous actions and his superior
They're
flying
growing
skills,
it.
the last group of soldiers and
What
his
are you
crew would never
growing?
have made it off the battlefield. Major Kettles'
Today's
selfless
show is
act,
sponsored by the
repeated valor, and
Smithsonian Channel,
determination are in keeping with the high
Oxygen,
traditions of
and
military service
HSN Shop
and
at
reflect great
Home
credit upon
with
himself and the United States Army.
HSBC. Does anyone have any questions about the Time Warner Channel now in Buffalo? Bro, it's pretty much explanatory. President is awarding recipient, Mr. Charles Kettles. Congratulations, Mr. Kettleson, in the Chicago play. Thank you, Cabaret and Chicago. Today is the 18th
joyful hearts
of July.
these words.
That's Time Warner
Be not
Cable
afraid,
Channel
for I have redeemed you. I have
718.
called you by name. You are mine.
The
When you
NHL,
pass through
Center
waters,
Ice,
I will be with
MLB,
you.
Extra
Through
Innings 10.
rivers, you shall not be swept away. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor will
Days
flames consume you.
in.
Let us now go forth into
Thank
the world.
you, Hotel in
peace,
Washington, for our senior
dedicated to
trip.
your service. Amen.
Days in. We'll be checking the Will
Ladies
Tribe.
and gentlemen, that concludes the ceremony, but we have a reception. I hear
Thank
the
you,
food here is
Barack.
pretty good. Well, let's give one more round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Lightfield. I love you so much. Thank you, 109 Lakeview. Black Operation. Top Secret. Top Secret Popcorn. Thank you, Pop Secret Popcorn and Top Secret President. Pop your collars. Pop Secret Popcorn. That says Geico. Remember to save 15% or more on car insurance. Bro, our video just ended. Today's show was sponsored by Pop Secret Pop Collars Popcorn and Black Ops, the new from Call of Duty, Activision. Well, let's get to our other video in progress. We'll be speaking with the press secretary, Josh Ernst. Video already in progress. I guess you guys get the background, right?
And it was very difficult to disrupt. We saw a similar dynamic in our land.
Call of Duty.
So we understand that this is a threat
There's a
that
duty free right by
encountered and confronted.
Top
And
Secret.
It is a different threat than the one that was posed by the 9/11 co-conspirators.
Are
for
we
example, that
correct
killed
about Black
more
Ops
than 3,000 Americans on one day.
and the
So
grocery
this threat
store?
is different. It's of a different scale.
We want to
It's one
thank
that's still dangerous.
Activision for Call
It's one
of Duty
that's
Black Ops 3.
The president and the rest of the
Available
national security team
now.
is determined to prevent.
Like us a train.
Is there anything that you can say to
It's a pepper pep.
lessen the level of anxiety
Right,
that
you
people
got
may
Activision.
feel after seeing the horrific video they saw in these
The last act of God.
Well, I think there are a couple of things. I think the first
Can you
is
see
that,
everything?
it's important for the American people to understand
It's
just
important.
how rigorously
It's Black
their
Ops.
government is
We have a
focused
duty free
on preventing
and a
that kind of
subway in
violence
the
in
same
United States.
plaza.
That's why we have
That's
worked
why.
so hard to degrade and ultimately destroy ISIL. It's why the president, when he first took office, had identified decimating core Al Qaeda in Afghanistan and Pakistan as a top priority. It's why the United States works
Welcome to
so
Duty Free. Peace
closely
Bridge.
with our partners around the world. Because by cooperating, we know we
Duty
can be
Free
more effective,
Americas.
in countering this threat. So the American
Duty-free
people should
shopping
take
is
some
a great way
solace
for travelers to
in
purchase
knowing
gifts
that this is
and
the highest
last-minute
priority
travel
of the
needs
commander-in-chief
prior
of
to
the
leaving
greatest
the
country in the world.
country. Before
And
leaving,
we've
travelers,
enjoyed important
Canada,
successes
have the opportunity to shop
in
at the
limiting that
Pinch
threat.
duty-free.
It's not uncommon
And
for the
before
Department
leaving
of
the United
Justice
States,
to make announcements
travelers can
about these
shop
kinds
at
of possibly
Duty-Free
disruptive.
Americas.
Even
Both
though
stores
we know
offer
how difficult
travelers
it is to
currency
disrupt these laws,
exchange,
we've been able to
services,
chart the
and
progress that
premium
we made against
merchandise,
ISIL
including
in Iraq and
liquor,
in Syria.
beer, and tobacco
Iraqi
at
forces,
great
with the support of our
prices.
coalition, have
The
taken more than
benefits:
45% of the land inside of Iraq that,
tax
Iraq,
and
that
duty
ISIL
free,
previously
meaning you don't
controlled.
have to pay
And
any
we've
sales
enjoyed
tax
some important
or VAT,
strategic victories in Fallujah and in this
VAT, and
military
as long as
airbase
you are
in
within personal
Kiara
exemption allowance,
to
you won't pay duty. If you
that's
exceed your
evidence
personal
that we
exemption
continue to make
allowance,
progress
you may be
against
excess duty
ISIL.
by
And the
customs
president
prior
continues
to
to be
entering the
mindful of the other
country.
threats that are out there. The president continues to be mindful of the Al-Qaeda threat that we know is present inside of Syria in the form of Nusra. We're certainly aware of
Hello.
the threat that is posed by ISIL in places like Libya, where they're also trying to capitalize on the chaos there. We're also aware of the threat that emanates from Al-Qaeda affiliates in North
Duty-free.
Africa. And this is actually something that our French allies deserve a lot of credit on. We have relied significantly on the French to use their expertise and their history in that part of the world to counter Al-Qaeda extremists in places like Mali. They've made a lot of important progress in the world, and the United States is safer as a result of their efforts. It's an indication of how we benefit from
Is
the
there a black
capacity
operation
and
coming on
determination
here?
of our allies in France. That's also why we're going to stand with them, even in this difficult time for their country.
Do I know something I shouldn't
Janet, I'll
know?
give you the last one. So you had your hand up back up there.
What do I know?
Yesterday, the guidance announced that President Peña Nieto will be here next Friday. Do you have any more to share on that? Why
Today's show is sponsored by Culinary Arts.
Anything that you can
Call
tell us on
Hilary Arts.
what the two of them will be talking about?
Well, Janet, it will be an opportunity for
What are we
President Obama
saying
and
here?
President Peña Nieto to continue the conversation that they had in Ottawa, Canada, just a couple of weeks ago. The two of them had an opportunity to have a bilateral meeting there in the context of the North American
I'll be
Leaders
making
Summit,
t-shirts.
and I would anticipate that they'll continue their conversations on a range of topics. Obviously, our security coordination with Mexico
This is the
very
pop.
important to both our countries. I'm confident that will be a prominent aspect of their conversation.
Let's break
Mexico
free from this
is part of
collar.
the TPP agreement, and I'm
That's hotness.
confident we'll have an opportunity
Jonathan
to talk about
Hawkness.
ways that we can
I know.
deepen our relationship, our economic relationship, in a way that
Is
will
that
have
correct,
benefits for
Mr. Arts?
both our economies and workers in both our
Well,
countries.
we would like to explain the dog
The president's
collars,
optimistic that
PetSmart,
we can substantially transform
and
our
Erie County
economic
Smart
relationship with
Team.
Mexico, because by signing on to the
Specialized,
TPP agreement,
mobilized,
Mexico is signing on to
ambulatory
higher
rescue team.
labor and environmental standards that will allow U.S. businesses to
Or
compete on a
PetSmart,
more
which one
level
is
playing
it?
field. When President Obama ran for office in 2008, he promised to renegotiate NAFTA. It's exactly what he did in the context of TPP. Obviously,
TPP
Mexico wouldn't be enthusiastic about signing it if
or
they didn't also
PET
believe
Pets.
that the greater economic opportunity
Thank you,
that would be
Pets.
created by
I'm a
these
lizard
deeper economic
myself.
ties would also be good for their economy too.
I'm the
So this
gecko
is a
gecko.
win-win, and we certainly believe that Congress should act to approve it, and that will be the subject of some ongoing discussion between the two leaders as well. But we'll have more
When do I
next
get
week
my
to
leash removed
preview the
from
meeting.
me?
Ideas about travel or immigration will be coming up?
This invisible fence.
I'm
Baloney.
confident there'll be a discussion about immigration. President Peña Nieto is obviously aware of President Obama's tireless work to try to
Hello.
fix the many aspects of the U.S. immigration system that's broken. Implementing those reforms and repairing those problems would only strengthen the relationship between our two countries. That's part of the reason the president has made that a priority. I'm sure that will be the subject of some discussion too. I don't know to
Oh my God, hold on.
what extent they will discuss the
We love
status
making
of
music.
Usman.
We're with
Obviously, this
you.
is something that the United States Department of Justice is looking at, and
We love
we have a
music.
tradition in the United States where we separate those law enforcement activities from political interference. And so
No
I don't know
problem.
to what extent the president will be able
There's
to
no
discuss
problem. No problem.
it. With that, let me do what I find to be a personally rather exciting week ahead. We'll get
Yeah.
to why in a couple of days here. On Monday, The president will award Lieutenant Colonel Charles
Today is
Kettles of the U.S. Army
LK18. Let's
the Medal
use
of
our
Honor for
alphanumeric
conspicuous gallantry.
formula.
Then Major Kettles
For last
distinguished himself
day.
in combat operations in Vietnam.
Tomorrow is
On May 15th,
LK17.
1967.
Let's
And
count
is
it
credited
down.
with saving the lives of 40 soldiers and 4 of his own crew members. A rather remarkable story. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, I would encourage you to do so. But it should make for a moving ceremony
Knock,
here at the
knock,
White
who's
House
here?
On Monday. On Tuesday, the president will attend meetings
Lakeview,
at the White
open the
House.
door.
On Wednesday, the president will host the White House Summit on Global Development.
Open the
in
door,
Ronald Reagan
please.
Building. The president will bring together development leaders, public and private sector
Knock,
financing,
knock, open
financing
the
partners,
door.
civil society, diplomats, and
This is the
entrepreneurs
view
to mark our global
on
progress and
ABC.
catalyze further developments. On Thursday, a day we've long
They're in
awaited,
further
the president will welcome the
developments
Kansas City
featuring
Royals
the
to the White
title
House
VI
to honor
Hope
the
Grants
team and their 2015 World
and
Series.
the Lakeview projects,
I'm very much looking forward to Thursday.
which were demolished and
That afternoon, the
rebuilt.
president will deliver remarks at an Eid reception here at the White House. And then on Friday, the president will welcome President Enrique Peña Nieto of Mexico to the White House. The visit follows the 2 presidents' meeting during the North American Leaders Summit in
Hello,
Ottawa
Charles
on June
Parker.
29th, as well as a meeting at the White House in January of 2015.
Our
The
script
president looks forward
supervisor
to hosting President Peña Nieto in Washington to build upon the significant progress made at the North American Leaders Summit
and Mr.
to
Stokes.
reaffirm and deepen our bilateral partnership on a range of issues. And we will obviously
Charles
look forward to
Parker
that
and
important
Mr.
bilateral
Stokes.
meeting next week.
Can they explain that?
I would anticipate that there will be a news conference associated with that bilateral meeting. So stay tuned for
Our
that.
jam.
Okay. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Hello, hello. Let's say hello to Ethan and ethnicities. Ethnicities, Ethan. Ethan, 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 Ethan. Ethnicities must separate. Today's show is CDMA, Code Division Multiple Access, and GSM Global System for Mobile. Please find the missing C in CDMA now. Is it at the CD? That's correct. It's at the CD. C. M-A. There's 2 C's. We have another video from the White House, don't we? Let's watch the president. Here's a 5-minute video. Hello, Barack. President Barack Obama delivers a statement. Date of video.
Good afternoon, everybody.
July
As you know
17th,
now,
yesterday.
This morning, 3 law enforcement officers in Baton Rouge were killed in the line of duty.
Hello, Barack. Jonathan
3
Hartnett.
others were wounded. One is still in critical
We
condition.
like your blue tie.
As of right now, we don't know the motive of the killer. We don't know whether the killer is set out to target police officers.
Hello, Lakeview. Hello, how are
They
you?
responded to a call. Regardless of motive,
Welcome to
that
Duty
these
Free.
3 brave officers
We don't pay
underscores
taxes
the
here.
danger that police across the country confront every single day. We as a nation have to be loud and
Oh,
clear
there's a subway
that
here as
nothing
well.
justifies violence
The
against law
Bushway.
enforcement. Attacks on police are an attack on all of us.
Today's show is
Rule of
sponsored by
law
PetSmart.
that makes society possible.
Dog Culinaries.
Earlier this afternoon, I spoke with Governor
Culinary
Edwards
arts.
and Mayor Holden, and I offered them the full support of the federal government and
Thank you,
reiterated
Eric
my
Holder
full
and
support
Shirley
for law
Caesar.
enforcement in Baton Rouge
Hold my
and for
mule.
police officers across the country. I also spoke to the Attorney
Thank you,
General.
Mr. Ed at
The
Radio
FBI
Shack.
has already been on the scene, and through
And
the
thank
work
you, Alicia
of all
Rutledge.
levels of government, justice will be done. Most of all, our hearts go out to the
Are you
families
rich?
who are grieving. Our prayers go out to the officer who's still fighting for his life.
Are you rich?
This has happened far too often. And I've spent a lot of time with law enforcement this past week. I'm surrounded by
Are
the
you
best of
rich?
the best every single day. And I know
What did the
whenever this
president
happens,
do?
wherever this happens, you feel it. Your families feel it.
President, what did you
But what I
do?
want you to know today is the respect and the gratitude of the American people for everything that you do for us. And 5 days ago, I traveled to Dallas for the memorial service of the officers
What
who were
did the
slain there.
president do?
I said that that killer would not be the last person who tries to make us turn on each other, nor will today's killer. It remains up to us to make sure that they fail.
What did the president
That
do?
decision is all of ours.
Bro, it's something about
Decision
his. Are you
to make
rich?
sure that our best selves are reflected across America, not our worst. That's up to us. We have our divisions, and they are not new.
Hello, Homeland Security.
News cycles and social media sometimes amplify these divisions.
Tom Ridgeway.
And I know we're about to enter a couple of weeks of conventions where our political rhetoric tends to be more overheated than usual. And that is why it is so important that everyone, regardless of race or political party
He might know
or
secrets.
profession, regardless of what organizations you are a part of, everyone right now focus
How did he
on
know
words and
secrets?
actions that can unite this country rather than divide it further. We don't need inflammatory rhetoric.
He's of
We don't need
interest to
careless
certain people.
accusations thrown around to score political points or to advance an agenda. We need to temper our words
Oh, okay.
and open our hearts, all of us.
Maybe it's your
I think
spinal
what we saw in
team, right?
Dallas this week, as a community came together to restore order
Mayor
and deepen
spinal
unity
team
and
of
understanding.
Chicago.
We need the kind of efforts we saw this week in meetings between community leaders and police, some of which I participated in.
Mayor spinal
Where I
team?
saw
That doesn't
people of
sound.
goodwill pledge to work together
What does that
to
sound
reduce
like?
violence throughout all
Bro,
of
let's
our
say Mayor spinal team real fast. Million times.
That's what's needed right now.
Mayor spinal team.
And
Mayor
it's up to
spinal
all
team.
of
Mayor
us
spinal team. Mayor
to make
spinal.
sure we are part of the solution.
Oh, it does sound like something.
Someone once wrote, a bullet need happen only once,
Oh.
but for peace to work, we need to be reminded of its existence again and again and again.
Oh.
My fellow Americans, only we can prove through words and through deeds that we will not be divided. And we're going to have to keep on doing it again and again and again. That's how this country gets united. That's how we bring people of goodwill together.
Oh.
Only we can prove that we have the grace and the character and the common humanity to end this kind of senseless violence.
Oh.
To reduce fear and mistrust within the American family.
Well.
To set an example for our children. That's who we are, and that's who we always have the capacity to be. And that's the best way for us to honor the
Suggestion
sacrifice of brave
aborted.
police officers who were taken from us this morning. May God bless them and their families.
Thank you, Mr. President.
May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Well, he might have had some friends that were top secret. Top secret. Well, he's a Homeland Security witness. And, yada, 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 yada. We have another video in progress from the White House press briefing dated July 14th.
One nationally televised primetime event.
Are you
This is going to
Rutledge?
require the dogged, persistent
We have a left leg
follow
shot
up and follow through
asking them, are they
of people all
Rutledge?
across the country. So the president will do his part. And he's the president of the United States.
We don't
so
get the ridge.
his share is bigger than anybody else's. But
What's the Rutledge?
he's not at all going to be able to do this alone. He's not even going to be able to do most of it.
Alicia.
This is mostly going to fall on the shoulders of men and women of goodwill in law enforcement,
Pledge.
elected office, in faith communities, churches and
I don't get
mosques
it.
and synagogues,
Is it
at
Mutledge?
universities, at high schools,
Is it something like a
in
mutt?
homes.
A dog? What is it?
And that's the
Is it
that's what
Washington
will be required.
Mutual?
This is not something that this is not a
That's it. It's Washington
this is not
Mutual.
the president staying up
Get a new credit
all night
card
to work
in
on a speech.
January.
This is going to require the
We got a
action
new
of
credit card in January from Washington
big-hearted
Mutual.
Americans. And the good news is there are a lot of big-hearted
If we
Americans.
pledge an allegiance or something.
And that's what gives the president some confidence. And while
Pledge.
this problem is not going to be solved next week or next month or next year or by the next president, maybe not
Hey.
even in the next generation,
Hello, Erie County Pay.
but over that period of time, we surely are going to make some progress based on
Is there a pledge
the
of
amount of
allegiance?
progress that we've made thus far.
Are they making
there's,
candidates
The opportunity for us to
with dog
continue
culinary arts programs?
the effort to form a more perfect union.
Last question. I talked to Mark Morial, one of the participants.
Thank you,
yesterday,
Washington
the head of the National
Mutual
Urban League.
and
He dealt
Barack
with
Obama.
economics and civil rights. And that's another component when you deal
And
with
thank
this
you for the
broader
credit line of
race issue.
$700.
And I asked him, I said, did you talk about that piece? And is that piece something that this administration will be able to tackle?
$1,740.
So he said he doesn't think so.
Happy
He said,
Independence
"Come
Day,
to the next
Washington
president,
Mutual.
we'll have to deal with that. Because right now we have to deal with this issue." Is that the case?
They gave us credit lines about the president.
This piece versus bringing it all in and putting it all on the table.
Well,
April, I think the president alluded to this in his remarks on Tuesday in Dallas.
you know, it's a conspiracy.
Right now, we're asking our
Thank you,
police officers to do a lot.
Equifax,
We're asking
TransUnion,
them to do too much in many communities.
and
There are too many communities
Experience.
that have been,
Equifax, TransUnion.
neglected.
Thank you,
They
guys.
don't have access to the kinds of schools and healthcare facilities,
Thank you,
and
Mr.
job training
McClendon,
facilities,
very much.
drug treatment facilities that other communities have the access to.
That's correct,
And
Josh.
the people who live in those communities
Thank
don't
you,
have access to
Harkness, and your
the kind of
annulment.
economic opportunity that many other
Very
people
lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky.
do. And those are the problems that we ask our police officers to solve. And that's not fair.
Suggestion
And there needs
aborted.
to be a concerted effort to try to address the root causes of inequality
Thank you, all radio personnel.
that
We love
many
you very much.
communities across the country suffer from.
Thank you for your inspiring programs.
Again, when the president made that observation in Dallas on Tuesday,
Thank you, Washington
he didn't get
Mutual,
disagreement from a lot of police officers.
which is
There are a
now
lot of nodding
JP
heads.
Morgan Chase.
And
Thank you, James Dimon.
so I guess the point is, I think it's unwise to try to separate those two things. Now,
We'll agree to
Congress hasn't
500.
demonstrated the capacity to do much of
billion.
anything. So, is
We've
this? If
agreed.
the question you're asking me is, does the
We've
president
also
expect
agreed
to be
to no
able to pass a
waivers.
significant legislative package?
And we've
that
also
begin
agreed to the
addressing
new OR
these
television
inequities?
network.
No, I don't think that's going to happen in his presidency.
OR
That is something
television
that-
network.
Hopefully, the next president will prioritize.
It's happening. Thank you very much.
Maybe that's what what Mayor Morial was referring to. Okay, Olivia.
Thanks, Josh. Two questions for you. Regarding the fate of Assad, as a matter of principle, does the president believe that Bashar Assad should be tried for war crimes?
We also want to thank Team
I haven't
VS.
heard the
Remember the
president,
hashtag your favorite
express a view on
song.
this. Obviously, the position of the
And we
United States
discovered
is
we love
that
all of Team VS.
it's quite obvious that the Assad regime has lost legitimacy to lead
Circle the
Syria?
best answer.
because of their willingness to use that country's military might against innocent civilians. And that is morally reprehensible.
Today's show was
It is
sponsored
a
by
failed
PetSmart.
leadership strategy, and it has
Dog
and it
collars
is what has caused
and
Syria
culinary
to
arts.
evolve into
Thank
the
you,
condition that
chefs.
it's in right now. And it's exacerbated
We've
a
made
terrible
it.
humanitarian situation.
We've made it.
Prompted millions of Syrians to flee their homes. That has destabilized
Our show's
other
coming to a
countries, not
close.
just in the region, but even in
Today's show is sponsored by
countries farther away.
883-4011
it is created
and Blockbuster.
sown sufficient
American
chaos.
American. Fed
Extremist
Experiment 3
organizations like
Grant.
ISIL
First
Al
40
Qaeda
Niagara.
have sought to
And
establish
11.
a safe
At least
haven,
the one.
in a way that
Blockbuster.
again,
Rent with
threatens
us.
other countries in the region, but also threatens
You don't have to be wine.
people around the world.
It's a
So-
Blockbuster.
There are a lot of concerns, significant concerns,
Thank you,
about
Pop Collars.
what Bashar al-Assad has done and what the consequences of
I
his
have a
actions
T-shirt
been.
that was made right in front
But I
of the
haven't
Nike
heard
store,
the president render an opinion on
which is
specific
evidence
issues.
of who
And on a different subject, our diligent colleagues at CNN are reporting that as early as Friday,
Yes, it's
the
a
administration will be
Rockaware
releasing
jacket,
so-called 28 pages, the
and
classified
it's
section
blue.
of one of the 9/11 reports.
It's a photo of
How
me
is the White
on a
House
white
preparing
T-shirt.
for the potential fallout from that decision diplomatically with the Saudis?
He
Well,
made it right in front
Olivier,
of the
I
Nike
don't
store.
have a specific date
That
to
is
confirm for
correct.
you. The
He's a wonderful artist.
Director of National Intelligence has obviously been
Failed
leading the
architecture.
process
We gotta go.
to
That's
consider the
national
classification
security.
of some of that material. process has been completed.
This has been LK18. Remember to use our alphanumeric code to figure out the last day. Tomorrow's LK17.